When Vanelle first came to the show, yes, this lady right here, she was like, give me that salt and pepper, salt and pepper, salt and pepper. Now she wants a young black man. Tragic. Let's jump in.
What jolts you awake? What keeps you up? Hey, touch me if you can.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Life Lesson and Confession, the channel where we figure out our power by figuring out ourselves. My name is Paola. If you like what you're listening to, please feel free to hit the like button, the subscribe button, as well as the bell notification. So we are going to jump into another review of this really weird show called Age of Attraction, aka Deception. The couples have now been established and they are moving to the second step of the experiment where they get to move in together, and they have a mini couple mixer where they meet all the other couples. And tell me why there is this man, this 60-year-old man is coming on international television with fake Yeezys. Are you kidding me? You couldn't find a shirt with no holes at your big age? Jorge is trying so hard to be cool and to be in the in crowd. Sir, you are 60. Act your age. Although some of these people look young, they are mentally stunted somewhere to date someone who is so drastically younger than you. This show clearly wants us to be comfortable with these massive age gap relationship that borderline. Heck, they do not borderline. That starts with the P word. I can't say the word yet because this is still the beginning of the video, but clearly they want us to be comfortable with these type of relationship. Another creator has already said this is Epstein Island. So now the couples are together and they all announce their age. The women move to one side and the guy moves to the other side. Jorge never told Vanelle he has been married and he has children. When they're talking, he's telling the guy, I haven't said anything about being previously married or having children. And the fact that we have such a good connection. He's 60, by the way. Disgusting. He doesn't think this will be a deal breaker. And then you have Vanelle at the woman's table talking about Jorge doesn't have children. She doesn't think he has been married. And he's waiting to have a children when he gets married. She's young and it's obvious she hasn't had a lot of experience dating other people. But how do you look at this face and you don't think they have been married or had kids? He seems like a baby boomer. Not he seems, he is a baby boomer. She knows he's in his 60s. And it's painfully obvious she has not asked him any questions. I know men can impregnate later on in years, all right? However, geriatric sperm is a thing. You are more likely to miscarry even though you are younger if your partner is that much older. Do y'all not pay attention to any scientific articles? You want to be a mother, yet you're not aware of the ectopic pregnancies or miscarriages that tend to happen with a partner of a particular age. Heck, with a partner with a horrible diet. I don't think y'all know a lot of miscarriages actually happen because of defected sperm. These men, before they impregnate you, they need to work out like Spartans.
This is Sparta!
They need to be at peak shape. Obviously, you as a woman, you also have to be at peak shape. Duh. But y'all need to stop acting like this is the 1700s where people were beheading women for not giving them a male heir. Can everyone just put on the thinking cap for 1 second before proceeding with life-changing decisions? That's where I stand. Teresa and Prince Scary get to their apartment, and their first night there, they did it and she got her back blown. Teresa and John, this is definitely gonna be unpopular. They look good. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Am I disgusted by the relationship? Absolutely. I feel like this show is trying to rewire my brain, but it's not going to work. I don't think this relationship is going to work mainly because Teresa is in her head about the age gap, as she should be. Why would you date someone who is younger than your firstborn? Like, that is gross and that is nasty. These people need to be shamed. As far as John goes, John just has an old face. He doesn't really voice a lot, so I don't know where he stands in the relationship. And I don't feel like this relationship would be beneficial for him because it's always
Teresa and her concerns. Teresa and the age difference. Teresa and her kids are not going to accept her.
So why did you decide to go for someone who is so much younger than you? If you want someone younger, date someone who's 50, okay? Max 45. What's wrong with that? I feel like all these old people are stunted, and some of these young people, they have daddy and mommy issues. So now the camera pans to Vanessa and Logan. Since they exchanged promise rings, they have been bickering left and right. She keeps momming him and he doesn't enjoy that. I don't know anyone who would enjoy being mommy. This show has made me realize there are a lot of immature old people, and they have the audacity to gaslight these young folks as,
you're the immature one because you're not comfortable doing this.
no, I have boundaries and you have none. Vanessa is so immature to me, and clearly she has these feelings of inadequacy because her sisters are married. Her own daughter is married, and she's the only one in the family who is not married, and it is something she has always wanted. I don't even understand the psychology of you wanting to have this thing that you have not had. She's been engaged 4 times, never taken to the altar. Why? Because I think she's immature and she has some growing up to do. I've had situations where my friend and I were chasing the same dream. She accomplished it and I did not. There is a feeling of inadequacy when your friend is able to get something and you are not. Since this is a common thing, I just try to turn that negative into a positive and maybe even ask my friend, what did she do? Maybe she did something different than me that I didn't know about. Instead of just feeling resentful or even feeling like, why did she get it and I didn't? That all falls into resentment and jealousy and stuff. And it is a very common emotion to happen. So I'm not going to pretend like it's not. I feel like Vanessa has a lot of growing up to do at her big age, and maybe therapy will be very much necessary with her feelings of inadequacy. Another thing about Vanessa, she feels like her and Logan are not close enough. They're in a PG, not even PG-13 relationship, and she wants it to be a more R-rated relationship. Are we going to pretend that is not PRADATOR behavior right there? Moving on to an even more disgusting couple. We have Jorge and Vanel. They're at the gym, and she gets on this man and starts straddling him. Oh my God! He feels like he doesn't understand her. She says she is celibate and she's waiting for marriage. Yet she's doing things that couples do, such as cuddling, hugging, kissing, making out, straddling. She's doing all of that. So for him, he's a bit confused. And I'm like, of course you're confused, Grandpa. You're dealing with a Gen Zer. I was always under the impression that celibacy is just not intercourse. I did not know celibacy meant no hugging, no cuddling, no kissing, no making out. Maybe I'm wrong, so please let me know in the comment section below. What is celibacy to you? Is it no hugging, no making out, no kissing? Maybe you're just holding hands and stuff. Or is it just no intercourse? After that conversation, I guess this is at night or the next day, they have another conversation. We're getting a secondhand recap as to what happened. But apparently both of them went out and it was a crazy man who stepped up to Vanel's face. And Jorge thinks he's a YN instead of the GN he is, geriatric. Act as if he's a big bad wolf when I know your knees are hurting, your hip is hurting, everything is hurting, and you need to ice some muscles. Vanel did not like the way he handled that. And from the conversation, what I gathered is she would have much rather he de-escalated the situation. Whereas when that man was already acting crazy, he came in acting crazy. So now she was stuck in the middle with 2 crazy dudes. I completely understand what she means by that. A lot of men think protecting someone is always fighting the other guy or doing this, doing that, when some women are not comfortable with that. Yes, there's a crazy man who is acting belligerent and loud and obnoxious and all that. I do not need the person I'm with to also act like that. That combative energy, I'm not a person who's comfortable with that. However, there are times where the only way they're going to learn this lesson is if you punch them in the eye. From what she was saying, I think she would have much rather he initially approached the situation in a manner to de-escalate it. And if the man was not going to be receptive to that or think he's a punk because he won't step up, then that's when you start throwing blows. Vanilla just feels like she's not being heard because she's trying to explain her side, but Jorge is just like,
I'm a street dude. I know how these things happen.
Invalidating her feelings and making her feel lesser than because she's younger. She finally got her sense back and decided to break off the relationship. Now, the couples come to another couple gathering. The host tells them the second part of the experiment is over and they will now proceed to the third part where they meet their friends and family. Everyone's like, ooh, ah, yeah. And you have Teresa. Everyone just turns to Teresa like, what? Are you okay? What is wrong with you? She is worried about what her kids would think about her being in this relationship. And I'm like, ma'am, if you're worried about it, that means you shouldn't be in this relationship. Why are you here? Why women always trying to be the victim when you are the one who went looking for young cock-a-doodle? And now she's over here crying. What is my family gonna think? Really? Really? You're on international television. The lack of self-awareness. Again, y'all are mentally stunted. We are now at Friends and Family Day. Teresa came in. The sister hugged her. Hi, how are you? She tried to hug the mom. The mom was just like, yeah. Handshake. Hell no.
I can tell you are my age. We probably went to the same high school, ma'am. What the F are you doing with my son?
I know that's what that woman was thinking. But she was very pleasant. So she was just there shaking her head, listening to the BS unfolding in front of her. But you know that lady is not going to agree to that kind of mess. So midway during the dinner, Teresa leaves. And now the family is asking John, how old is that lady? He dodges the question. So now the family is like, okay, how old are the kids? Still not answering the question. They don't like the fact that Teresa did not divulge that information. That is something she should have told them. She should have told them about her kid's age and her age. So his family is already like, not it. The next couple who are getting ready to meet the family is Pfeiffer and Derek. They're just sitting in a restaurant waiting. Pfeiffer is so anxious. Derek is trying to reassure her, but she's not here for it. She says in an interview that the last time her parents came in to talk to her was when she got in trouble in high school. This poor baby, get her out of here. This is a child. Her parents come in. They meet Derek. They were actually very open to it because I guess they couldn't tell he looks much younger than his age. They don't suspect anything until Pfeiffer says there is this age difference. The mom is kind of taken aback. She's like, wait, how much of a difference? He's like, I'm 43. The mom is shocked. The dad is like, you look good for 43. I was like, is that what you should say as a dad? You have a 43-year-old man in a
relationship
with your 23-year-old daughter, and that is the first thing you say, you look good for 43. I don't care how good Derek looks for 43. Hell no! After the conversation, Derek decides to pull the dad away for a chat to have a man-to-man chat. So now the mom is there talking to Pfeiffer and she's just asking her, are you okay? Blink twice if you're being held hostage. Pfeiffer's like, no, I'm happy. It makes me feel good. And the mom is like, okay, I'm glad that you're happy, but this man has kids. You hate babysitting and you're about to become a stepmom? Moving to the dad and Derek conversation, they're getting along. Either Pfeiffer's dad is the most understanding man on the planet or he has not registered Derek's age. In his interview, this man got emotional. Emotional in a good way. Talking about Derek is a good man. I'm speechless. What? Either y'all don't know your daughter or your family is just bizarre. Moving on to another couple. Andrew meets Libby's friends. I bet he is so happy. He has 3 girls in their early 20s talking to him. And he's over here trying to act like he's one of the young folks. Andrew, you are old. I know you had some Botox. I know you had your skin be tightened. But sir, you're old. This scene looks like he is babysitting them. Like, they are young. Yes, they are adults. I don't want to infantilize them, but they are young, nasty. In the midst of their conversation, Angel's friends also come and they join in and they meet Libby. The guys go to the side and the girls stay at the table. The friends are just like,
We knew he was going to meet a blonde between the age range of 22 to 25.
as a man who is 38, your age range is 22 to 25? And y'all want to tell me this is not Epstein Island? 25 is literally when the brain finishes developing. You don't want an adult. Moving on to another couple, Leah meets Chris's mom. And they're talking to one another and she's looking at Leah. She's like, yeah, I could tell she's older, but maybe she's like 30 years old. It's a 4-year gap. It's not a big deal since he's 26. And then Leah discloses, well, thank you for calling me 30. I'm not. Add 11 to that. And the mom was shocked. What else is there to say to that? Looking at all the old people in this relationship, Leah's probably the only old person with a young heart because she comes across as very youthful, curious, energetic, all those traits associated with young folks. She's probably the only one that I would say she has a young heart. Leah walks away. Chris now talks to his mom one-on-one and he is just breaking out like,
It's so hard for him. Leah's not able to give him his space. He really wants his space. He's never lived with someone. It's a lot for him. He just wants time to himself and he doesn't know what to do.
and the mom is like, you seem miserable. If you're not happy, leave. Chris, leave. I said it before and I'm going to say it again. Chris came on for clout to get his name out on these internet streets so he can go get him a nice young 20-something. Well, moving on to the next couple. Vanessa meets Logan's parents. His parents were really nice. They said, oh, Vanessa, you look like you're 29, just like Logan. And she laughed it off like, ha, 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 ha. Thank you, I'm actually 49. Vanessa, they knew you were up there in age. The parents are talking and they're just a little bit concerned because Logan has always stated he wants to be a father and he wants to have children. And with Vanessa, who's so high up in age, it might be a little bit difficult for him to do that. And I'm just like, Logan, you don't even like Vanessa. Go get you someone else who's in her 30s. If you like older women, shoot for 35. Or if you don't, get someone who's 30 or 29. I'm pretty sure if his mom could say what she really wanted to say, she would have said,
Logan, you are my only child and I want grandkids. Get this lady away from me and go get you with someone who is young enough to carry a full-term pregnancy.
Thank you for watching this and I will see you next week.